Welcome to another episode.
You moving this couch back, Mikey.
That's how I got back. Well, you look good, but stop backing that thing up.
Stop backing that thing up.
That's what you're not going to do.
Yeah.
That's what I am.
What's my name, Crystal?
McKay.
What?
Me, gay, Mikey.
All right, cool.
Don't act like you don't like the nicknames.
Bro, I don't like none of that. I'm not a fan of it.
You know what I like? I like to start this episode.
I got good intentions, right?
Hold on.
I think I'm going to do it with good intentions. I'm just talking to y'all. Can I talk to you?
Yeah, talk to me.
I think I'm going to do it with good intentions, but I do not. And I have a good heart. Like, I really enjoy treating people right. Let me say it like that. But I do not take lightly somebody crossing me or somebody trying to play me for a fool. It's
just you got right into that.
Right, it's on your chest.
I didn't get to ask y'all how y'all doing. Go ahead and keep talking.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes you just think about it. Like, have you ever got a message and somebody just like, hey, you think you slick. Like, you think you smarter than what you are. And so my issue sometimes is to either respond to the comment or the intent. And so I debate whether or not which one I want to respond to first, because people in them trying to be intelligent, they trying to crafty, and they want me to respond to their comment, but I see the intent behind it.
But is that your perceived intent or is that the real intent?
It's the intent.
Well, you don't know that.
Okay, so then you're the person that is in the other side of this situation.
Because a lot of perceived intent. No, a lot of perceived intent comes from past experiences and how you've been dealt with in the past and how people have shaded you in the past.
Understand.
But that doesn't necessarily mean each person that does that has the same intention.
I think the person on the other side thought that would be something I would take into consideration, and that's why they tried to be slick. And
but it doesn't matter. You still can't say what it is for them.
I can.
You can try.
What are we talking about right now? Who made you mad?
Bro,
I need to learn to forgive.
Upset.
That's the thing. That's the point I'm getting to, bro.
Yeah.
I have trouble with forgiveness when I'm crossed or when somebody tries to play me because I saw the intent behind it. So I'd rather cut you off.
You know that probably comes from them being in a broken place.
No. That's none of my business.
Okay.
That's none of my business. We can get to that later. Like, if you come to me genuinely and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to lie, Mike, I did this. This probably was shady. I probably shouldn't have done that. But I ain't going to lie, but I got a lot of stuff going on. I actually would respect it and be like, you know what? I've made mistakes too. I've done some toxic stuff. I've been there. Let's talk about that rather than the actual issue. But when I only have the issue or perceived intent of what you're doing, when I cut you off, I don't know if I really forgive a person that I can't trust is truly sorry. And I think...
No, because if you're cutting them off, you're not giving them the ability to like have a conversation with you. You're just cutting them off and saying, this is a dead end. I don't really care what your intention was, but this is how I received it. And I'm going to go about my way so that you don't have the ability to hurt me. That's not really productive in forgiveness.
Well, that's exactly what I do. So
right.
So
no, I mean, but here's my thing though, and I guess so. We talking about forgiveness today.
I guess that's what it is.
How does her mic sound? She sound good? Come closer to me. But yeah, what's up, Jay?
Or move it a little, you know what I'm saying, a little closer because your voice
I don't want to
so
ding it.
No, he said he's good.
It's good. Okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Cool.
So
about me, I'm straight. Perfect.
So I mean, but you opened up with. You know what I'm saying? You went right into it.
I struggle with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I would have to say, you know, it's times when I feel like I just told you upstairs earlier, probably about 30 minutes ago.
Oh yeah.
I need to work on like my heart. Like sometimes rage kick in so quick. And I'll be like, man, how did I go from, you know what I'm saying? Tracy called me angry man sometimes, but I'm a fun-loving guy. Like, I'm a gentle guy.
For sure.
But then there are those times when things just hit me. And I'd be having to like breathe. But if you talking about like forgiveness, like, yo, that's no small feat.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and that could be hard. And I think for those of us that's really trying to grow and master forgiveness, you're going to be presented with some things that's going to make you have to be. I got a story on forgiveness. Y'all ain't going to believe it. And y'all blood pressure going to go through the roof though, but go ahead.
Oh, you going to hit us with that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, so I feel like I can speak from a place of forgiveness.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
From you personally?
For sure.
Okay.
I'm different.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to talk about it without talking about it. I don't even get mad no more, but the people closest to me be getting hot for me. I'm on the other side now.
That's when you know it's real.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that one time when that pastor put his hands on me, that right there got...
What kind of put his hands on you? What do you mean?
Man, let me tell you something,
bro. You lying? This is for the
I'm like,
this is for the
put his hands on you. That could go a lot of different ways. Tell me what happened.
What, pastor?
Wait.
Remember, bro? One of them episodes we just got to talk about. We was talking about faith versus works. He wasn't using both.
He wasn't using either one.
He had faith that God was going to deliver him after he worked something stupid.
So if we're gonna talk about faith, I do have to share this story, right?
You mean forgiveness?
Yeah, forgiveness. Thank you.
My bad.
Thank you. Yeah,
I crossed over. And
come on, AI. You brought it back.
For sure.
That was a pump fake.
Hey.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I do have to share this story on forgiveness. But let me preface it by saying this. I'm a different person now. You know what I'm saying? I've grown from it.
Yeah.
When people see me, and y'all know I'm goofy, but there is a certain anointing. It's come from some of the things I've had to experience.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I've gotten my stripes in life because I feel like God has allowed me to go through some things to help me grow.
Okay.
All right. So when I first started in ministry, when I first started speaking, this was probably, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago. This before Jewel was even born. I had written my first book, From Prodigal to Prodigy, right? And that was just me sharing my testimony and transition in life. And so I went to this event. This big like national event at this conference that I was going to be not speaking there. I was doing like a workshop.
Yep.
And then I was going to have my book available. And so I walk into the lobby of this Hilton resort and there's like hundreds of people, all of them like from different churches that came for this event, right? I'm in the lobby. I'm seeing all these people in the lobby, like 100 people. And I check into the hotel. I got Brandon with me, James Brandon.
For real?
Yep. I got the
JB. Shout out to my guy.
Shout out to JB. I got the homie Shayla Montgomery with me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they was the crew. They rode with me. And I'm in the lobby and I see this group of 4 pastors. And so one of the pastors I knew, he was like, "What's up, Jeremy?" I'm like, "What's up, Doc?" I dap him up. And he's like, he told the other pastors, he was like, "What you doing here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm going to be speaking. I do a workshop." And then I got my book. He looked at the other pastors like, "Man, he's not serious about ministry." I was like, "Yo, man, I'm serious, pastor. Like, I'm sold out for God." He's like, "Nah, he ain't serious." They all like, nah. I'm like, "Nah, man, like for real. Like, I'm sold out, bro. Like, I came all the way here on my dime, my home hotel, travel, you know what I'm saying, just to be a blessing. Like, I'm serious about ministry." So he looked me in the eyes. He's like, "Jeremy, you really serious about ministry?" I'm like, "Man, I'm serious." He said, "Close your eyes and lift up your hands." So I'm thinking like, yo, my man about to anoint me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man about to anoint me.
That's what I'm thinking too.
You feeling like, so you know what? I'm obedient. It's a man of God, right?
Right.
I'm
Close your eyes
he a
and lift
man
up
of
your
God.
hands.
So I close my eyes, I lift up my hands, and I just sit there after about 3 seconds. And so I got my eyes closed. I got my hands lifted like this. And I'm just like in full surrender. And the whole lobby gets quiet because the people is looking like, yo, what's going on over here? Like, it's a moment. So the pastor acts like he's speaking in tongues and says, and mushes my forehead back. And him and the 3 pastors walked off laughing. And instantly, when I tell you rage, when I tell you hatred, like fill my heart, tears fill my eye. Like my first thought was,
I'm about to beat.
My first thought was like, I made a covenant with God. Like, yo, I'm not gonna kill him, but like, yo, for real, I'm about to take my man kneecaps out. Like I instantly left the lobby. You know what I'm saying? Jumped in the truck. Was looking
people
for
tell
the
you was
closest.
affected? Did it
I'm not
show?
even sure. I just saw red.
You cool, calm, and collected. Like, could people tell, or did you just know?
I just saw red.
Felt?
I just saw red.
Nah.
Shayla started crying instantly.
Oh, so she felt it.
Bro.
And
It's
James,
humiliating.
It's humiliating. Some people was like, yo, that's not cool. Some people was kind of laughing. But I just saw red.
But see, me, I could laugh something off in a moment, and me and you still know that I got an issue with it.
Yeah,
but,
and so
but
for
I could have played it cool.
Yeah, no, there was no laughter for me at that moment. What I recall was thinking like, I opened my eyes, was like, did he just? And I was like,
Tried to play you.
so I went out and was heading to a Dollar Tree or Walmart. I went back to my old ways. Like, it's almost like I forgot about getting baptized. I forgot about being a different person.
You reverted
it's like
back to say
that kick door Jeremy came back in. I'm ashamed to say it, bro. I went looking for a ski mask.
Bro, you just warned me that this story affects people that's close to you more than everybody else. And I'm not even enjoying the story no
Listen
more.
to me.
No, I want to hear the rest of the story.
I feel
Listen
like I was like, God, just help me. Because I'm over here trying to figure out who it is. Like, now I'm sitting here trying to go through my thing. I'm like,
and
who be bold enough to be that stupid?
And
I'm
you know
like,
what?
Okay.
I've only shared this. I've only shared who the person was to maybe one or two other people. And I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, don't tell me.
Yeah, no.
I ain't there yet.
And I've forgiven him. So we talking about forgiveness.
Exactly.
Now, don't get it twisted. I don't want folks to look at me like I'm an angel. Like, there was a time in my life, I promise you, like, yo, I was really like, yo, all right, God, I won't, I'm not going to kill my man, right? But I'm about to take my man kneecaps out. Like, I'm baseball bat, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm, ski mask. Like, I'm really on some other stuff. Like, I'm really, like, when I see the rage, like the devil filled my heart instantly. So I jump in the truck and I'm so eared. I'm punching the steering wheel. I'm punching the windshield. Like, knuckles was bloody, swollen. Like, I was a hot man. I was humiliated. And I was like, yo, I'm taking my man out. And so I was trying to find a place to get a ski mask. Because I instantly went back. Like, I went back to the old me. And I remember Shayla was just sitting there and she was just crying. She was just like, I can't believe he did that. Like, why are people so ugly? And then they was like, yo, he's just, he's not nervous. What you call it? And not intimidated. What is it? You know what I'm saying?
Jealous.
They was like, yo, he just jealous of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been speaking, you've been traveling a little bit. He's envious of you. And so I was just like, yo, whatever. And so Shayla and James was just praying audibly. I didn't want to hear no prayer.
Of
you
course.
feel me?
Yeah. Of course.
And so I realized something. I was like, yo, this conference was like all about prayer. And so God was like, son, you don't get it. God was like, you don't get it. Like, I'm trying to help you grow as a Christian. And I remember just praying like a few weeks before that. I was like, yo, stretch me.
What?
I remember telling God, like, yo, take me to the next level. Yeah, I was like, yo, take me to the next level. I was like, stretch me. God brought that thing back to my memory. And he was like, you asked for this. I was like, I definitely didn't ask for this.
Right.
He was like, when you asked me to grow you, when you asked me to stretch you, when you asked me to purify your heart, he's like, that's why I allowed this to happen to you. What's your response going to be? So I was like, yo, I told you I'm not going to kill my man. I was going to break his legs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? God was like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to cover him in prayer. Then I found out that he was one of the keynote speakers for the conference. I'm talking about like 4,000 or 5,000 people. You know what God told me? I want your butt in the front row. And as he preaches, I want you interceding for him.
Jesus.
I wrestled.
Bloody knuckles and all.
I wrestled. Q, I'm here. God, like this, what I, let me tell you something.
Because people
when
don't know.
we talk about next level living, like y'all people got to know and believe when we created the brand, we not just rocking the shirts. We not just talking about it. You got to live it.
You got to live it.
And it's a reminder that there's always a new level. So I don't want y'all in radio, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. I don't want y'all in the land thinking Jeremy just naturally got here.
Yeah.
I am who I am today because of what I've gone through. Crystal, you are the woman you are today because of what you've gone through.
Yeah.
Mike, you are the man you are today because of what you've gone through.
Facts.
That was a very pivotal moment early on in my ministry of traveling and speaking, whether it was churches or corporate or whatever.
Yeah.
That was very early on. And God was like, can I trust you with this?
Yeah, boy.
You know what I'm saying? Can I trust you to forgive?
Be careful
and
what you ask
like,
God for.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm humble enough to let y'all know, like, yo, my man played me. And I never attacked him. You know what I'm saying? I let it slide. You know what I'm saying? I diffused the plans I had. And God was like, not only are you not going to touch him, you know what I'm saying? Not only are you not going to Walmart to find a ski mask, not only are you're not doing none of that, you're going to be in the front row as he preaches, because it's not even about him, son.
Wow.
It's about you. God was like, I'm trying to make you more like me.
Yep.
He was like, when I gave my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could have jumped up off that cross. I could have called down 10,000 angels, a legion of angels. I could have jumped off myself. He was like, there's something different inside you When you like that whole turn the other cheek, you strike this one, I'm gonna turn this one, I'm gonna look the other way. Like he was like, I'm trying to grow something inside you. Where I'm taking you, I need for this. I'm just telling y'all, man, like it's hard. Like I'm acknowledging forgiveness is hard. So that's what I did. I sat in the front row. That whole night I wrestled. I was not feeling God that whole night.
I believe it.
I was like, yo, this is whack. Like, yo, my man should be covering me. He older than me. I'm thinking he gonna be like a mentor. I'm thinking he gonna anoint me. You should be handling him. You should be dealing with him. God was like, didn't my word say pray for your enemies? I was just like, shoot.
Ooh,
and so I was just like, all right. So I remember being in the front row, the first half of the sermon, I ain't gonna lie, spirit was not in me. I'm thinking like, bro, you're not even a dope preacher like that. You whack. Or you on some corny stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like in my heart wasn't right.
Yeah.
And God began to like really prick my heart. And I grew from that. So I sat right there and I was like, man, God. And so God whispered to me. He's like, son, you a wretch. You used to kick in doors. I'm even embarrassed to say any other things that I've done in the past. But he's like, you're a bad person. Like I remember the life you lived before you surrendered to me. Yeah. Don't act brand new. You act like your stuff don't stink. Like you got issues still. You got insecurity still. Yet I still use you. So as I'm watching him preach, God like, yo, I still use my man with all his flaws, as messed up as he is, with all his insecurities. I am still using him. I'm looking at thousands of people and I'm like, man, if even just 5% get touched by this message, God is like, that's me still using knuckleheads like him. And I allow for his insecurities to put you in a position for growth. Wow. So now we could talk about that. And then afterwards, and this, let me give you one more level. Crystal looking at me like, it's more, I go one more level. Not only did I forgive him and not, you know what I'm saying, harm him and intercede for him, I was just, afterwards, I was like, I'm going to do all that, God, but yo, I'm going to check my man and we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to let him know I ain't no punk. And God was like, you will never mention it to him. That is what had me feel like, bro, yo, that's not cool. Let me at least check my man. He got to know his actions, how it would affect other people. Boom, boom, boom. And I try to tell God, it could be healing for him. God was like, I'm the healer. I'm the balm of Gilead.
That job's
that's
already
what I
taken.
He was like, this is about you. He was like, because you still on pride, son. You still on ego. You feel like I'm going to at least check my man, but you're not really in the spirit. And he is not mature enough to even receive the rebuke right now. He was like, so don't even worry about him. I'm going to deal with him. God told me. He said, trust me. How he played you, how he humiliated you. You are my son. I love you. I'm going to deal with him. This is an opportunity for you to grow. This is an opportunity for you to get your heart right. This is an opportunity for you to forgive. And so, yeah, that's my story on forgiveness. So I never said nothing to my man, even to this day. I never harmed him. I never talked ill about him. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned his name to maybe one or two people ever. You know what I'm saying? And it was not in the context of, let me tell you what he did to me. It was in the context of a message about forgiveness. Gotcha. So I've never even been like, yo, man, can you know I never bashed his name because I realized that God wouldn't be in that either. So yeah, it's hard. Let me tell y'all, all of our next levelers out there, like we are all in different places in life. You know what I'm saying? That was just something I had to go through. That was about 10 years ago.
Let me, but you about to say something?
I was about to say the Lord not through with me.
And he not done with me. Like it's still a process. I still got this is the thing.
Nah,
Here's the
bro,
thing.
that's heavy.
Yeah, I still got some stuff I'm dealing with.
But it's a blessing. And honestly, as a person who
you was hot though when I shared it just now.
I'm still like fighting through it. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, your leadership is so needed because I'm following your conviction rather than my feelings. So it's like I'm trying to go off of the strength that you've forgiven him and be like, all right, Mike, follow that energy rather than, all right, Jay, you good, but don't worry about it. Your will shall still be done. I'm just going to carry it out now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to go to hell for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, God may give me a little bit longer to repent. Like, let me see if I can go ahead and get both done. Right. Let's see if I can go get him knocked up and come get back to the Lord. Let's see if we can figure out both. But the conviction I'm having is just like, how can I carry out something that the person who actually experienced it let go? So that's God working with me.
All right.
One thing that I'm learning, bro, is that most times when I have the most strongest needs of conviction or forgiveness, it's after I surrender completely to God. Bro, let me tell you, bro, one of the hardest times in my life was after I got rebaptized the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, like, I'm telling you, when I be having my most genuine experiences with God, I be like, God, are you loyal? Like, I just told you I'm gonna give you everything. Why are you allowing this to happen? Like, stuff that people would never do to me before. Like, they know that you wouldn't even play them type of games. And all of a sudden, as soon as I give you everything, God is just like, all right, let me push this button to make sure you're sure. You know what I'm saying? And I bet that's how you felt too. Because, in the streets, people probably knew that they couldn't come up on you and put their hands on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's different when you already known for not being able to be disrespected, and then somebody feels so comfortable doing something that you check so easily.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, oh, bro,
sometimes people in that position, we actually enjoy being tested because it's another moment for you to clear this up. You know what? You was tripping, but don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna fix all this. And like you said, like, I'm gonna go for the knees. And him losing his legs was basically, you said you take it easy on him. No, God, I ain't gonna take his life. But I'm just gonna teach him this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna walk the same. Or again, like that mentality of surrender when you get to that place, it almost gives God control to afflict you as he deems necessary in order to grow you. So my story is similar to that. Nobody put their hands on me, but they tried to play my reputation, right? So everybody knows that. Well, in college, everybody knew me from being from.
Bro, I mean,
what perm, bro?
Oh, okay. That you had the hair pressed.
I thought we talked about this before.
Stop saying that because people think I had a perm, bro.
Okay, so you
said that from the first episode,
so go ahead,
bro.
Finish your story.
Nah, see,
I thought you was going to pass it to Crystal, but you about to tell a story. Go ahead, my bad.
But she said her point. She just said that you better than me.
Go ahead. My bad.
Story time.
Bro, basically, I gave my life to Christ, bro. And I remember me and my ex-girlfriend had just broken up not too long before then. But I remember we weren't even talking. And I remember something must have happened because she hit me up and I was just like, why is she calling me? And she was just like, did you hear about this dude saying that he messed around with you on campus? And I was just like, what? I was like, what? And she was just like, yeah. She's like, I know. And she came from a place like, but calm down, I don't want you to hurt him or nothing. I'm just telling you because I don't want you to hear from somebody else. And I'm sitting here, bro, I'm talking about, bro, I remember specifically, bro, it was either 1 or 2 days before that prior. I told God, I was like, whatever you need from me, everything is yours, God. Like, I'm not, you see how Jeremy laughing? Like, Jeremy's laughing because you know the response that naturally comes with stuff like that. So for me, I'm listening to her talking. I'm just like, God, this ain't it. Like this ain't the test that I told you I'm cool with. Like I told you that I'm trusting you through anything, but you want me to allow this. Like you said, when you're a person that is comfortable in controversy,
right?
I'm cool setting the record straight. I'm cool making sure I address my man, making sure I go see him.
So did you forgive him? Did you go see him?
No, I didn't go see him. But let me tell you the result. For you, your people around you was affected. They was crying. They was angry for you. They was just like, why would people be this evil? Let me tell you my situation. This is what made it so bad for me is that I was just like, nah, it's cool. And I was wrestling. Like you said, I was hot on the inside, but I wouldn't let it come out. So she was like, yeah, so don't hurt him, I just want you to know that. And I was just like, you know what? It's cool. Like, God gonna deal with it. Bro, when I tell you, her response was like, what? Like, she was like, wait, well, did you?
Oh,
bro.
And that's what did.
Bro, you used to date me. Bro, we dated for years. Right. So my response of calm made you question me out of all people. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, okay, God, that's a point too. Like, you really tested me. So the person who came to look out for me is now questioning whether or not it's possible because I was too calm in my response. So
let's talk about the forgiveness part.
That's what I'm about to say. Okay. I had to forgive more than one person now.
Oh, okay. You had to forgive that person and their friend.
Bro, because like you said, your people.
Did you ever acknowledge him? Or did you ever like say, hey, bro, I heard what you said, but that's cool, I forgive you? Or just in your heart, you was like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not even going to hold this hatred towards you.
Okay. So in the moment, I had to shut down everything
Gotcha.
because I didn't know how to approach situation without it getting physical.
Right.
Like
violent
in
physical.
the physical of my choice, physicality of my choice. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
his
Like
physical.
not his physical.
He probably wanted to
Wait
get
a
physical.
minute.
Oh, trust me. And I wouldn't have had a problem touching him as long as it was my way. You know what I'm saying? Like he probably wanted to get
as long
touched
as you
his
had your way
way,
with
but
him.
I would.
Okay.
This is
I'm sorry.
ridiculous.
But I'm following
Like,
you.
no. You know, I'm
No,
start doing this to your
following
stories.
I'm
No.
following you. I'm right there with you.
Q, what's wrong with you? Q, what's wrong with you? Like, it's Jeremy.
I've
at this
never
point.
heard this story before, and I promise you I was in my best behavior, but I got you. So, but you really had to be like,
My frustration.
my ex played me,
I hate telling
And
the
I gotta-
passionate, transparent
and
story.
I gotta forgive you.
And now he got me
Okay.
laughing because
No, we gonna be
But-
all right.
no, bro, you made me.
But ultimately, you
closer.
got to forgiveness, and you
Yes.
really feel like it's a real forgiveness.
But not only that, but this is the blessing in it. Not only did I get to the forgiveness, but after we talked years later, he wasn't even the person who started the rumor. Me and him used to work together. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't even the one who started it, and he was broken by the fact that I cut him off because I stopped talking to him. And I'm a person who speaks to everybody. I don't care what your sexual orientation
So
is.
did
or
you
what
really forgive him if you cut him off?
But that's remember what I was talking
he
about in the
didn't. He
beginning.
didn't forgive him for
I
real.
told you I didn't
in the
forgive him until years
beginning.
later.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you.
But I'm saying in the moment I had to try to forgive two people. So for me, I trusted God in the beginning to not approach the situation.
Right.
Then
I
later
got you.
on, forgiveness came with the clarity that was
Right.
given. But before the forgiveness came back, I just had to trust God and step away
So
from
did the
that.
forgiveness come, and then you realized, Jewel, what you doing, babe? Did the forgiveness come? Y'all know we at the crib, so it gets real around here.
For
Hey,
sure.
did the forgiveness come, and then you realized that wasn't the case? Because was it really forgiveness if that's the case?
And that's the thing. I genuinely thought I did forgive, bro, but certain things can trigger it back. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear about it again after you thought it's been buried.
Right, okay,
and
got
it bring
you.
back those feelings. So that's the thing. Like and that's what I want to talk about later on too. Is
And not carrying
Am
it.
I not forgiving people because it bothers me later on? Because now you're able to talk about the story, right?
Right,
But are there
right.
any things that can still trigger you about it? Can you still be triggered and genuinely have forgiven him before? Can you still be triggered by it? Or is it literally a at peace thing for you now?
I think it's one of those things where you can forgive somebody, but you can still, but I think a part of the healing process comes from forgiving. But I think you can always, in a sense, be triggered, even though you're free from it.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm qualified to speak from that, but I feel like, you can go through something and something can be traumatic and something can be messed up.
Crystal.
You forgive that person and move on.
How do you feel about
and
it?
you might still feel good, but you still might,
Yeah.
be triggered, what I'm saying, by it.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like if you're forgiving someone, you are truly diving deep into why it hurt you.
Okay.
What for example, this situation, this guy, questioned your sexuality in a little bit. It was a rumor that he had messed with you, right?
Right.
Why does that bother you? Is it because you're, not, into men? Or is it because so you really have to dive into
Because it was clear.
right. But you
already.
really have to dive into why that bothered you in the first place, why you didn't address it, why. And so you got to go through all the whys and figure out where it's settled in your body. And then that's how you work through that forgiveness and that trauma, because that forgiveness is associated with that trauma.
Bro,
And so
I'm so sorry. I'm so distracted.
that?
Bro, a hawk just swooped down and is trying to catch something in the backyard, bro. That was crazy, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Jeremy don't care.
Anyway.
Mic up.
My mic up.
Nope, not from that. Just from the base.
Down here?
Boom. There we go.
It's going to fall over, though. Let me, hold on.
I got it. I just did it.
Okay, but I need to tighten it because it ain't going to stack.
Baby, get out.
Yeah, so you really have to forgive it in yourself, because not forgiving is like you having a ton of bricks on your back, right? That's the problem, right?
Okay.
You want to carry that ton of bricks around with you everywhere you go, or do you want to just cut them bricks off and be like, look, I'm not taking you with me. You can stay here. I know you did this, you did that. I've forgiven you. I'm gonna leave it here though.
But I feel like that's what me cutting off does.
No,
letting
but you
bricks
have to
go.
work through it in a healthy way. You have to address it, like in a time,
you wanna
in a
run from
space,
it.
in a
Yeah.
space
That-
where
exactly.
right, in a
Yeah.
space where you feel
Not
safe
even run from it,
enough.
just drop it and don't never go back to it.
Right,
Right,
what
but
I'm
that's
saying?
not really forgiving.
No,
And
That's
that's
not
what I'm
really-
trying to learn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
right. You have to feel. Oh my gosh, it's another hawk.
It's only one. It's just going back and forth. It's trying to catch something, I
Yeah.
promise you.
It's okay. I forgive you for messing up the podcast. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Anyway, moral of the story, you haven't been forgiving. And I'm not speaking from a place of being an expert. I know what forgiveness is supposed to look like, but I'm not necessarily saying that I have it all together either. Because I've had my own experiences. And mine, I think, if I'm being fully transparent, probably started in my childhood with like my mother.
What do you mean?
So,
you talking about forgiveness?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And not having a healthy relationship with forgiveness because I didn't see it done. Like I didn't have the example of what forgiveness looked like.
Okay.
It's like you hear it. Yeah, you hear it in church. You hear, you must forgive. God forgives us. And it's like God gives us all these chances. But it's like, what does that actually look like? And how does that feel? And I didn't know what that feeling was. So it's like, okay, I could say the words, I forgive you, but did I actually know how to release that out of my body? And I didn't. Because your body keeps all of that stuff that you have stored, all of the stuff that you haven't forgiven, is somewhere located in your body. And you just, you haven't figured out how to get rid of it.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
so once you start learning more about forgiveness and learning about trauma and how to release all that, that's when you start to really forgive. But until you have the tools to know how to do that, more than likely, you're not able to forgive.
So what would be that first step? For the people that's listening, that's like, yep, I need to forgive my ex, or I need to forgive my friend who said
Just talk
something
to me,
stupid.
because clearly I've been thinking I was doing it right. And clearly I got to start over. So y'all teach me the steps that I need to go through.
It's just it's educating yourself on how.
On why.
On why
it affected you and hurt you.
Why it affected you and hurt you.
Acknowledge it, and then acknowledging that this hurt. Yeah.
Right. And is it associated with anything like from past experiences? Because you have to detach the two. If you're carrying them together, they don't belong together. You have to treat every situation individually.
So let's go deep into mine real quick. So if that's the case, then my first step had to be, okay, why did this affect me so much?
Yeah.
Right? Why was I so embarrassed? Why couldn't I just laugh out and be like, crazy?
And you had two main reasons why. Before you was nobody was touching you before.
Right,
that wasn't even like, if somebody did that, somebody else would have got him on the spot.
Instantly, right.
And it's like,
and then you're somebody I look up to.
And then you're somebody I look up to, and I'm being sincere and vulnerable with you.
And I'm looking for acceptance.
Right.
Because I'm new in this preaching space. I'm new in the speaking space. I've been doing it for like a year. So I got these 4 pastors.
Yeah.
Then my expectations were high.
Right.
Because I'm thinking you about to anoint me or something or pray over me.
Do you think the dude ever thought that you would actually laugh with it too? Like, did he think that something you might thought was funny too?
But he knew
like,
Jeremy.
I'm sure he would have probably. Because
I bet you he didn't think that Jeremy's response was what he was.
I don't know. I don't think so either.
I know it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's almost like the kid that's about to touch an iron. It's like you have no clue you about to get burnt.
Right.
Yeah.
You just want to touch it.
Exactly.
You're just like the little kid that runs up to a pit bull. It's like you have no clue
All
that this thing could just eat you up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had no clue, like in my heart, how he was feeling, how I was feeling. True. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of find that interesting. So you're saying the first step is to acknowledge why it hurt you.
Why it hurt you?
Yeah.
And it's like you were embarrassed. You went from being at the top to being a scrub again, to being hazed. And it's like
to cause it for a scrub.
And that's
because that's how he saw you. He's like,
he said, right.
All right, I'm scrub now. I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Okay. Back to TLC real quick. Like I'm in the passenger side of my best friend's ride. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to holler at you, a scrub?
Nah, not that type of scrub. I mean, like a scrub in like the ninth graders are scrubs, right? First year in college, you're a scrub.
First of all, I was freshman of the year. I was not
I had the juice my freshman year. I ain't gonna lie.
You said what?
I had the juice my freshman year of college.
Facts.
I literally could take my pick.
You got me.
Yeah, already.
Facts.
But anyway.
For sure.
But that
it's
was
assumed knowledge.
If you was an upperclassman at our school, I would have definitely hollered my freshman year. For sure.
Actually, when I was in high school, sidebar, here y'all go with the crossover. Y'all got to stay focused.
Wait,
all up in that
next level
upperclassman
of the podcast
dorm,
where everybody here got ADHD.
All right.
And we be all over the place. But for the record, in high school, though, I was dating a chick in college. I'm pretty proud about that.
What happened?
When I was in high school.
You did what?
I dated a chick that was in college.
Oh, she need to go to jail.
I mean, it was
straight, no exceptions.
I mean, well, I was kind of a little older, though. Remember, I got let back a bunch of times.
Okay, true.
So what grade were you
you was
in?
Okay,
you as a super senior?
It's not necessary.
Like you see it, look on the you see it on next to the light on the look up the steps straight ahead. You see it through the light. You see it?
I don't see nothing.
Okay, look straight ahead on the steps. Sorry,
he's trying to play you. He about to say you ain't got no vision.
You see, look past the light on the ramp.
So here's the crazy thing.
No. Oh yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
It keeps swooping down. It's trying to get something. But that's all. As long as she knows I'm not crazy, bro. Because it keeps going.
You just killed it.
You got great windows.
You just killed it.
I know the whole
You
vibe.
just killed it. You done had her jump out the seat. And here's what's crazy, y'all, is what's killing Mike's distraction.
What?
Crystal looking for it and can't find it.
I can't. It's hidden.
That's a word.
It's all hidden.
She's trying to. She's like, I just don't see what's
see it, right?
She's so
distracting you.
focused. And if you never had ADHD before, you don't know how it feels to be or to live with the distraction.
I live with it. I'm a savage.
No, I
I'm
understand.
talking about her. She was focused.
I understand, but
you do?
He trying to say you ain't got no vision.
Sometimes when you have an emotional train of thought, you want to continue down the emotions and not like interrupt it. You want to complete the emotions.
Oh, so he's not emotionally mature?
He's not emotionally in tune with us right now. That's what I'm saying.
You don't think I am?
No, you over there. Definitely over there.
At this point, I want to let you know I forgive you.
That's good.
Because I understood why you did what you did. And I understand what that was going to do for me if I carried that with me into the next episode. But what I'm not going to do is take that with me to next week. I'm going to leave that right
But
here.
you're not going to use it.
I'm going to let God have it.
You're not going to use it as a lesson?
like it.
Never. Crystal, I forgive you.
You know what? Thank you.
There's no bad blood.
Thank you, because I didn't even need forgiveness. Because I told you what you needed to
actually,
hear. I told you what you needed to hear.
We should be forgiving you for the derailing the podcast.
Right, we should be forgiving you
because she was pouring her heart out and you
my
went
train of thought.
Oh, look, there it is right there.
How do y'all take my forgiveness and then turn it around into this?
It's
like,
okay.
Like whatever.
So let's bring it back.
We'll bring it back.
Yeah.
So
going back into yours, yes. Scrub.
Thank you. That's right.
She called him a scrub.
That's where we left off.
That's where we left off.
I was going to ask, where did we leave off? And yeah, I'm a scrub. Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Crazy, sexy, cool.
That was the trigger.
Yeah,
thank you, crazy, sexy, cool.
Yeah,
bro, if you ain't no 90s baby or 80s baby, y'all not going to understand. That
totally went over their head.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why, what are other reasons why it affected you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like, the forgiveness piece is hard. And so I think for those of you all that's like, how do I forgive somebody that wronged me? Right. How do I forgive my father who abandoned me? How do I forgive the person that maybe molested me? How do I forgive somebody that was a business partner that took advantage of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I forgive a spouse who wronged me? Like, like that forgiveness piece, it's not even really about them. It's really more about you and the healing that you need.
And it is, because you don't want to take that ton of bricks with you.
That negative energy, and let's let that cortisol off in your body, and that's where that cancer and sickness comes from.
Yes. And then the one other thing I want to ask is about asking for forgiveness. Knowing when to ask for forgiveness and feeling comfortable asking for forgiveness. It doesn't mean that you're less of a person for doing something wrong. It just means that you're owning your mistake and you've identified that you were the reason why this happened. And you want to ask for someone else to have grace and to forgive you. And so a lot of times, a lot of people don't know how to ask for forgiveness. They don't know how to apologize. They don't know how to admit guilt without that affecting their self-worth.
And then that pride comes in too.
Yeah.
I got a few people that need to apologize to me. I'm like, you blocking your blessings. I'm good. I've been moved on. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm like, man, I don't want what God has for me to be withheld. Yeah. So if I got to make it right, the conversation we had last night, I could have took it a different way. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take some ownership. Right. And I'm going to ask for forgiveness. Yeah. Even though I feel like 90% is on this person, I'll take it all. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to grow from it. You know what I'm saying? If I could have done one or two things differently, even though you could have done all this differently, I'm still going to ask for forgiveness. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, it's just different.
Crystal, is it harder to forgive someone who's done you wrong or to ask somebody for forgiveness after they've let you know that they feel like you've done them wrong? Which one feels harder? Like, what's the restraint? Because both of them have a pull on me. Like, my pride feels like, you tell me like, Mike, I feel like you did me wrong. My first thing is defense. Like, no. That wasn't my intent, or to explain myself and be like, yo, anything except asking for forgiveness for something I didn't feel like I do wrong. That's a pull too. Mm-hmm. And then forgiving somebody for something I feel like they intentionally did or wrong. Which one is harder for you?
I think it's harder for me to forgive than it is for me to
ask for forgiveness.
Or for me, or for me to, because me asking for forgiveness is not something that I have to hold on to. That forgiveness is for them. And so if they're If they are asking me, hey, you did me wrong. Like, I would like to have a conversation about it and I want you to apologize. Then it's like, okay, because then now I'm in tuned into how they're feeling. Okay, so my bad. Like, I didn't mean to do that. That came out wrong. Let's talk about it. And I can then release it from me because it feels like, okay, now we reached a moment of clarity.
Right.
But for me, forgiving, again, because it's stored in my body, because I hadn't had a healthy relationship with it, I carry it more than I do if I apologize to somebody else.
How do you feel, Jay? Which one's harder for you?
For me, I feel like if I've done somebody's wrong, it's a lot easier for me to be like, man, I did that wrong. I'm sorry.
Dang.
That wasn't my intention. Because if I really know I did you wrong, like, yo, that's my bad. So it's actually easy for me to ask for forgiveness.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like for me, it's like it ain't no pride.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I did you wrong. Now, if I don't really feel in my heart I did you wrong, it's hard for me to say that. But if I really feel like I did you wrong or I missed whatever, if I did something wrong, I'm apologize.
So that's the thing. So maybe I'm not angling the question right. Somebody feels like you did them wrong, but you don't feel the same way. But they need your forgiveness, or they're requesting you to be remorseful, whatever.
Or something you didn't do wrong.
There's something that you feel like you didn't, but you can see that they took it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so how do y'all feel in that situation?
That's completely different, though. That's different from asking for forgiveness. That's
still
just communication.
Right.
But it's still forgiveness, though.
I mean, it's still an apology that you owe, but you don't feel like you owe it.
Right.
But I think the point there is about growth. You have to learn why it affected that person and what made them feel like they deserved forgiveness for your apology.
So do you feel like that's easier or harder than actually forgiving someone else?
I think for me, the way that I'm wired, I want to understand more than I care about being right.
Yeah, and so I think in that moment,
that's huge.
Yeah, in that moment, you're like, hey, so when I said I can understand how that made you feel, you know what I'm saying? And I apologize. That wasn't my intention to make you feel that way. Just so you know that wasn't the approach I was taking. But I can see where you're coming from, and I can see how that hurts you.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me,
because you take yourself out of it and you see how they feel.
Because it's not personal at that moment.
So what I need to work on in this moment with this forgiveness episode is removing myself. I just saw that 90% of my issues that I have is because I keep myself inside of it. I keep giving myself a say-so on how I felt.
Right.
And it's not about me. Like you said, it's about understanding how they felt.
Right.
I don't know why it's so easy for y'all, or if that's just a toxic trait of mine.
Honestly,
but it is really hard for me to step outside of myself when I feel away and somebody's trying to express that they feel away. I'm like, nigga, I feel away too.
And I think I learned this a lot from being in a relationship.
Okay.
And you have to really understand that person and understand why they feel a certain way, regardless of if you agree with it or not. Your priority is to make sure that that person feels understood, at least heard. And if they don't feel heard and understood, you're creating more problems.
That's
so you have to
Yeah.
condition your mind to at least being open to understanding.
How do I do that?
And listen.
Because there's a block, y'all, that happens like when somebody's trying to genuinely tell me about what's bothering them and I know I feel a type of way. And I'm just like, bro, I can't even hear what you're saying. Like, I feel so strongly about how I feel. Like,
Yeah.
And the reason why normally people wouldn't be able to tell me that was wrong. It's only because I'm listening to both of y'all and both of y'all don't have an issue with that. So I'm just like, 2 out of 3 people both tell me like, yeah, if that's what they need, forget, I've explained it both ways. And both of y'all said, well, I want to understand and let them know that I understand from their side. Both of y'all did that.
It's
But that's how you can, but that's an area for you to grow.
Exactly.
Because if you will want, here's the thing, the golden rule, treat other people how you want to be treated. And if that was you will want someone to hear you out. And if it was flipped, because ain't none of us perfect, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you will want somebody, you will want that other person to hear you out, to understand where you're coming from. So I think
Even if they don't agree,
if they don't agree. So I've had a few situations where people have hit me with stuff, and sometimes that person might be damaged, they might have dealt with some trauma, and their life is already a mess. And I'm like, okay, here you go with the victim stuff. I'm the bad guy. But I say, you know what? Let me just listen and see where you're coming from. And then I see like, I can understand where you're coming from. I don't agree with you. It's not necessarily right. That wasn't my intentions, but I can understand why you felt this way. And I would probably feel the same way, or I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so there have been some times I had to be like, you know what? Forgive me. I should have been a better leader. Forgive me.
Yeah.
I should not have even put you in that position to ask that, to, you know what I'm saying, in a certain way. Forgive me. I should have taken a different approach that would have never got us here. Now, was my approach wrong? No, but I could have taken a different approach that would have got us somewhere else because of where you are. And so that's what I learned in social work. The first thing they teach you in social work is to meet your client where they are.
And that's emotional intelligence too. We'll talk about that later, but that's emotional.
Never mind. I don't know politically.
What?
So let me wrap it.
I'm emotionally slow right now. It's what I'm.
But you got a heart though.
I definitely got heart, bro. But I want to change. So hearing y'all say that, I got a lot of work to do though. Because what I've learned in a forgiveness episode is that I haven't been forgiving people.
And it's crazy too, because in the previous episodes, we've teased you, been like, here go Mikey, being emotional, playing the victim.
Right.
That's just how you wired. Not like that though. That's not wired. But you love hard.
Hard.
You love hard.
And I'm genuine when it comes to that.
Yeah, right.
So when it's taken advantage of, I'm like, my dude, like, I'm not a 3 strikes type dude. Like, I do everything genuine. And because I'm the teacher that gives everybody an A.
Right.
I give everybody an A. You solid until you show me that you're not. I'm going to give you the genuine part of me until you're not. I got a lot of friends that tell me, like, Mike, how can you be like that with them? You don't even know them. I'm like, well, they ain't done nothing wrong to me. They going to get the real me.
Right.
Now, once you slide it, I'm just like, everybody not for everybody. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I won't see you again unless God says otherwise.
Right. So your takeaway, Mike, and then Chris, I want you to share with yours, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Your takeaway should be: if somebody does wrong by me, this is the great opportunity to show the character of Christ. If when this person does wrong by me, now we're not like, yes, they just start dogging me, but you can look and say, okay, that hurt. I could handle it a few different ways. But WWJD, remember the wristband we used to wear?
Yeah.
You got it on? Okay. So it's like, okay, what would Jesus do? Like, what would Christ do? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So now, so you wear it.
I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this.
But you wearing it.
Yeah.
Now you got to live it.
And
that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's done, right? It's like you wearing it, but it's like now it's just like, okay, all right, so what would Christ do in this situation
because
here?
I thought I was living it.
Well, but again, there's levels to it.
No. I'm just saying humbly.
This stuff is hard,
humbly,
man.
I'm realizing that there's a next level that I gotta go to.
Yes.
And forgiveness is my level. Like that's a level that I gotta face and I gotta deal with.
Right. Because there are some people that's so serious on protecting their energy. They're like, yo, if you do wrong about me, I'm gonna cut you off.
That's me, bro.
And it's like, if that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But as long as you ain't carrying that weight, and whenever you see this person, you feel a certain type of way. Because I'm not saying you gotta forgive people and then and that's a whole nother conversation, right? We don't have time for it today, but it's just like, some people, it's like, yo, if you forgive them, you should be ready to kick it with them. Nah. If I forgive you, that means I'm not holding on to no remorse, but that don't necessarily mean I'm going to put myself in the same position to allow you to do it again. But is that really fully forgiveness, though?
If you can kick it with them?
There's levels to it. If y'all were once in that place, if I got one of my best friends and he do me wrong and I forgive him, but we ain't really kicking it no more, is it really forgiveness? Yes. You feel me?
It is.
It's not.
It's not.
It's
it
not.
Is.
It's not. No, it's not. If y'all are,
you still have to have a mind to know that you're not going to put yourself in positions to get done wrong again.
But if you forgave him,
but that's what we've been taught. Forgive, but don't forget. Forgive, but don't forget. It's like, yes, you're not a blind. Okay, that's an ableist term. I'm not going to use that. You're not oblivious to the fact that it's been done to you. But if you truly forgave, you would open yourself up to having the same relationship you had before.
No, that's not. No.
Okay. Yeah. See, you struck.
All
Let me
right.
share something
bro,
with
it's
you.
not the same.
Let me give it to you.
Yes,
Let me help you out. Let me help you out real quick.
Yo.
Let me help you out. You're my guy.
That's
Let me help you out.
the meaning of true forgiveness.
All right. So watch this.
To kick it with them again?
So to Peter, what did Peter do?
Deny Jesus 3 times.
3 times. After he got rebuked, after he told, before he was like, forgive, get behind me, Satan. And he tried to cut my man when they was in the garden. And he was like, bro, you going to live by the door, die by the sword. Like all of that, he constantly got rebuked. But what happened when he rose and they was out fishing and couldn't catch nothing? And he was on the shore, cast a net on the other side. They cast it, caught a bunch of fish. Peter realized that's the Messiah. He jumped out the boat, ran to him, and they sat there and broke bread and had a fish fry. And then he said, Peter, do you love me? Yes. Feed my sheep. Peter, do you love me? Yep. Take care of my sheep. Peter, do you love me? Yeah. 3 different times. That was an installation. He put him back into leadership. because Peter was initially a leader. Imagine when he denied him 3 times after Christ told him, you're going to deny me 3 times. Imagine when Christ got crucified. Peter, did you come across people? I heard the rooster crow. Did you? Come on, Peter. Come on. I imagine Matthew was probably like, Peter, man, how you going to deny him? I imagine Mark was like, yo, you really denied him? He told, how you going to deny my man? You feel me? But now here we are a while later and Christ put him right back in position. And he ended up being one of the most powerful disciples. So it's godly to forgive and put in that place. The prodigal son, he could have been like, yeah, you dogged me. You dogged my name out. You squandered all my money. You embarrassed our family. You broke down our heritage. All right, I'll let you come and just be a servant. Nope. He put a ring on his finger. He put a robe around him. He was like, yo, my son, I love you. Come on back. We about to throw a feast. Matter of fact, y'all kill the fatted calf. My son is back home. He put him right back where he was. So me and Crystal are on the same page. True forgiveness is freeing that person and then putting them right back where they were before.
It's not easy. It's not.
It's hard.
And I'm not saying that
and you don't have
it's
to rush
something
into
that
it.
I'm going to do all the time. Like, I'm not saying that I don't even have the ability to do that now. Who knows? I'm going to grow. But that is the definition of true forgiveness. Because what if you forgive the person, you give them everything back how it was before, and they're working even harder to make sure that they don't disappoint you the next time. It could be a better outcome than you just suppressing them. You just making sure that they don't see the light of the same friendship they had before.
Chris, what if Christ did us like that? What if he's like, all right, so you can still make it to heaven, but I'm not going to bless you while you're on earth. He's like, no, my mercies are new every morning. My grace is sufficient. I got you. I'm gonna keep looking out for you.
So does forgiveness make me stupid?
No.
Like, I don't know.
No.
I wish we did this at the beginning of the episode. I'm frustrated.
Forgiveness
like,
is supposed to free your mind. It's supposed to free you.
Yo, that's wild.
Yeah. So I'll put it to you like this, right? Somebody wrongs you, you can forgive them. You know what I'm saying? And depending on where y'all's relationship is at. So, and it's complicated because I'm gonna throw a curveball, and Mike, you're gonna appreciate this, right? You ready for it?
Please help me.
If you got a little girl and she gets molested by her uncle, she can go through counseling and get to a point where she forgives him, but don't have to necessarily be going to all the family reunions and want to hang out with him. So I want to be balanced. I feel where you're coming from. Now that's heavier though.
Yeah,
that's heavier than my best friend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Got drunk and tried to smash my girl. That's kind of heavy too though. But you know what I'm saying? But
best friend trying to smash my girl. Okay, yeah. Let's stay on topic because I got feelings on both sides.
Okay.
Because what's my girl doing and my best friend? Like,
maybe there was mixed drinks.
Well, it take two. Well, I don't care. Listen, listen too. Maybe it's mixed punches too.
I just do want to say that. And then, you know, there are times when you can't forgive someone and they be like, yo, I forgive you. But because of what you've done, I forgive you, but we not about to be.
Right. I can't put myself in the same position.
So she's not supposed to ever allow him to be in the same spot as her uncle before. Same.
Yeah. Or it might trigger something. Or she might be free. I'm just saying there is a difference.
Right.
No, for sure. So and I appreciate that.
So that pastor that did the little light mush and played me and embarrassed me, and the one I was ready to take out, I've seen him at several different events. He even at one point wanted to partner with me, you know what I'm saying, in ministry. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I see him, it ain't nothing but love. You know what I'm saying?
He wanted to partner with you, bro? What was your first reaction when you first heard that he wanted to partner with you? What's the first thing? I want the first, don't think about it. Don't try to think about the second and third. I want to know what's your first thing.
Yeah. So the first thing I would have to say is when he first came and told me, hey, bro, I want to partner with you in ministry. I began to think about when the word says that I'll make your enemies your footstools. Come on, quick. I'll make your enemy your footstools. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the first thing. I'm like, wow, my man went from, you know what I'm saying like, I want to partner, you know what I'm saying, trying to play you, to now I want to partner with you in ministry. I was just like, oh yeah, that's good. I was like, wow, that thing came back around. I was like, that thing came around full circle. And guess what I did? Because it didn't. I was like, nah, we good. Appreciate you though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no animosity. It just didn't. It didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's a process, man. We might have to have a part 2 to this.
I think we do, because also sometimes after you forgive people, they just fall out of alignment with you. they no longer agree with your spirit, your energy.
But it's
and
not you cutting them
it's
off.
not
It's them cutting themselves off.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we might need a part 2.
We do need a part 2. Because you're right. There is a whole nother side to this that is a little bit more dark. And we're just talking about the surface level more forgiveness.
Especially if I'm going to be convicted and really change from this, I need to be able to see myself completely so that I can know what I'm stepping away from. Because y'all understand, I've been myself a lot longer than I haven't. And the person I'm becoming is not the person I've always been.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So I mean,
I want to accept what the truth that y'all telling me is just the lie that I've been living has been felt so true to me for so long.
Oh yeah, because you've been thinking you've been forgiven all this time, but you really haven't.
I haven't at all, bro.
But
if what y'all saying is true,
it's definitely true, bro. Let me tell you, it's painful. The next level. Listen to me, y'all. Everybody listening and you're watching. The next level is painful.
Yeah.
People think like next level living is cute. It is painful.
Yeah.
It is very challenging. You got to be very intentional. This shirt I'm wearing, teach by faith and not by sight. When I'm in these schools speaking, I'm telling the teachers like, yo, when you work with these students, don't look at them where they are and figure that's who they are. Like, don't look at them, their outcome, their situation, or the stock they come from, the communities. Like, don't do that. Teach by faith and not by sight. Right. You got to be intentional to forgive. You know what I'm saying? You got to be intentional to love, but you also got to be intentional to take care of your heart and say, you know what? I'm not going to carry this baggage no more. I released this. Yeah. I've released you. I've forgiven you, and I'm going to move on from there. And sometimes that conversation has to be had. I got somebody right now, me and this person to have a conversation, and this person probably is carrying the weight. And don't even realize that by the time we talk, I'm going to release you. And it's going to be good now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to be willing to just let that thing go. And forgiveness is not just about the other person. It's more so about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's you that's carrying something.
Yeah. It's definitely me.
Yeah.
Especially now, the moment. I didn't even realize I was carrying it, though. Yeah. I didn't realize I was carrying it until y'all just told me to kick it with it again. And I'm just like, hell no. In Jesus' name.
Right.
I'm good.
All right. Well,
but there are times, you know what I'm saying, you know, and we got to ask ourselves, okay, what will Christ do in this situation?
And that's what I'm trying to.
And that's the hard part. You know what I'm saying? That's the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would he navigate it? And what is it that I got to do? And how can I die to that flesh within? You know what I'm saying? It's not possible, but, you know, I mean, it's not easy, but it is possible. We're going to figure it out. Yeah, we're going to figure it out.
Wow.
We're going to figure it out. I like that.
Already. We're going to figure it out.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Jeremy here with the Next Level Living podcast. Also, the founder of the Next Level Living clothing company. Check this out, y'all. Don't just rock with the podcast. You got to get the merch. You are part of our family. You are part of our community. Matter of fact, we're going to do something special for you, right? We want you to visit shopnextlevel.co. Shopnextlevel.co. And you automatically will get 20% off of the merch. Just put podcast there. Put podcast there, right? And you'll get a 20% off all of our merch. Shopnextlevel.co. I'll see y'all at the top. Let's get it.
I'm on another level. I'm on another level. I'm on